maybe bundling some things together sometimes can do that. So we can help you there. If you wanted to set up some time to sit down with our team, we'd be more happy to review what current licenses you have and suggest some ideas to you that might be able to help you add some functionality and maybe lower some costs around maintenance or something like that. Pricing of upgrades, we'll talk about that. Shayee is going to give a great demonstration about flexible modeling. And then there is a question box on your screen where, as we're rolling through, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask those questions. And then we do have some polling questions that will be sent out. So if you could answer those as they appear on your screen, that's always very helpful to us.
Steve,
just quickly,
hey, Steve. Yeah, I just wanted to toss off the polls right now. Just trying not to take too much time here. But yeah, so guys, we have a couple polls here just to sort of get an idea of where you are and what your company is doing. First one here is does your company currently have any PDM system in place, or do you have any plans to purchase one? And yeah, you can just get us an idea here of yes, we have one and we're happy with it, or we're thinking of getting one because sometimes we lose files and save over people's work. Yeah, so you can just help us get an idea of that, and I think everyone's voted here, and so we'll go ahead and close that. Let's see here. Next up is do you accurately know all of the PTC products and extensions that you own? So do you clearly have an understanding of we own A, B, C, D, and E, and I understand that, or do you feel like you have more tools in your toolbox that you don't even know about, and you'd like someone to sit down with you and say, hey, you have this extension you're not using, let's open that up for you to use. It looks like we're waiting on a couple more people to vote here before we close this out. Okay, looks like we have everyone voted with that, and actually I'll just share that particular poll pretty quickly. Yeah, it looks like a couple people understand everything that they own, which actually that is pretty rare. Usually we have cases where people don't even know that they own particular features and extensions, and it looks like some people don't even feel like they're utilizing the full extent of what they own. And in a case like that, we can have one of our boundary reps give you a free call just to sit down with you and say, hey, I can walk you through, these are the things you own, and this is how you can go ahead and utilize them, or these are the additional functionalities that you can do as a result. And then the last thing I was just going to ask, given that we're going to be talking a little bit about flexible modeling later on in this webinar, I was just going to ask, does your company currently own flexible modeling? Or even if you don't know what flexible modeling is, that's fine as well. You can just pick that bullet point. Okay, sweet. Okay, good. So I'll close this and I'll share the results here. So, a couple people, mentioned, yes, you do own flexible modeling, and it looks like the overwhelming majority don't even know what flexible modeling is or what it does, and which is great then, because this webinar is going to go into a little bit of detail about that, so I can show you that. And so at this point, I will hide the polls and pass it back to Steve, and Steve, you can go ahead with the rest of the presentation.
Okay, great. Thanks, Shayee. We can, if everybody can view the screen again, we'll continue on. I just want to touch base a little bit. Some of you may work with us directly. Some of you may not. If you don't, we would love to work with you. But we're Boundary Systems is a leading software provider and support company for users in the CAD, CAE, PDM, product lifecycle management, or other sophisticated design and simulation products. We carry a wide array of products. Our main software package that we offer is PTC, Creo, and Windchill, but we have a lot of other solutions that can help you and your organization. We handle everything from implementation to consulting to training, you name it. We have a large team of engineers that are scattered throughout the Midwest. Even though our corporate headquarters is here in Cleveland, Ohio, we do work with clients extensively through what I would call the heartland of America, but also can work with clients all over the United States. So that's just a little bit about us. Since we've been around 10 years ago, we've been winning all types of local awards, getting certified in everything around PTC, from a preferred service provider to certified training. We have an on-site training facility, which many of you have visited. If you haven't, we would love to have you over here to take a class. We implement Windchill in all of the PTC products. So let's jump a little bit into TLO. Wanted to kind of start with the basics, right? What is a TLO? A time-limited offer. A lot of times in these industries, these acronyms just start flying around and people tell you all this stuff and you're not quite sure what it is. So, in general, a TLO is an offer for a specific discount or special for a period of time within, somebody has to do something. So in this particular case, it would be taking a modern or package of PTC software, whether it's just a license of parametric, or it's a Creo engineer package, or maybe some older legacy packaging that they had, and upgrading it to a more modern package. A lot of times we can sit down with you and really review what licenses are included in that package. Can you pay a discount fee, upgrade that to a more modern package, maybe add some functionality, possibly reduce your annual maintenance cost by getting that functionality. These are the types of exercises we like to do around this particular TLO. This is a TLO that's mandated by PTC and handed down to the resellers. So we pass the savings on to our clients, and really like to engage with you to see if there's a way we can help you maybe gain some functionality around flexible modeling or simulation or advanced assemblies, or even if getting into a PDM style Windchill entry-level package with something that you've been thinking about for a while. This is a great way to maybe upgrade one of your Creo licenses to kind of start that endeavor and really start working on that. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail. The TLO is on the table and available to all clients. We would need to have everything wrapped up and your proposal signed and returned, or a PO issued to us by September 23rd, and that's when it expires. The current special is 35% off the normal upgrade cost to whatever upgrade it is you want to do, and we can get into the details with you. And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of times by upgrading and adding some of this functionality, you can reduce your overall annual maintenance. So that's always a good thing to do, or a good exercise to do at least a couple times a year. And we can sit down and do that with you. So that's pretty much all on this slide. Let's just go ahead and, opportunities here. Again, I talked a little bit about upgrading and introducing additional modules. So flexible modeling, advanced assembly, simulation. We can demo these models. They're all sold as extensions. These can come as part of a package, which typically leads to a lower cost and a lower annual maintenance. But we can demo any of these softwares if it's something you'd want to learn about. Upgrade or introduce an integrated PDM, PDM Essentials, PDM Link, these types of products. Again, if you're not familiar with them or would like to learn more, we'd be more than happy to sit down and go through those. Really concentrating on maybe moving off of some legacy packaging. You may know what you'd want to move to, you might not, but that's why we're there to help you. So if you're not sure what options you have, what current licensing you have, what's currently under support, what's not under support, reach out to Boundary Systems, let us know. Our phone number's down here at the bottom of the screen, or you'll have my email address and Shay's email address at the bottom of the last slide once we end the presentation. And we'd be more than happy to sit down with you and your team to go over that stuff. So quickly, we can just roll through a little bit about, about a year ago, PTC introduced their Essentials packages, which the main initial package, which is just called Essentials, takes your Creo parametric license and introduces it with flexible modeling to offer some more functionality. And then, as you can see, as you progress up the Essentials chart, it just adds some more functionality. So Essentials Plus would add a PDM, one seat of a PDM solution. Essentials Premium will add flexible modeling, PDM, along with simulation and piping and cabling. And then once you get up into Essentials Team, then you get more into a few options you can pick from. So there you can actually add PDM Essentials or PDM Link, which is the wind chill package. PDM Link is where you get more into heavy and light users building customized workflows, a little bit more advanced than just simply doing revision control and vaulting and stuff like that, which is what PDM Essentials would do for you. So just to kind of touch on PDM Essentials and a little bit about flexible modeling, this is the basic upgrade package from parametrics. You go to Essentials, and this can add some functionality and definitely can lower your maintenance cost. One thing I will emphasize, we have been notified within the last week and a half or so that PTC software across the board come October 1st will rise in price. So if there's some packaging or some upgrading you want to do, you act on that before October 1st, there's definitely some savings that can be made there. But we can touch a little bit on what is flexible modeling. If you're familiar with it, that's good. If not, rest assured you will by the time you get off this webinar. We'll talk about it here in detail, and then Shay will actually do a demonstration here in a bit. So here you can combine the power of parametrics and direct modeling. So the three main areas where customers really, where you can benefit is late stage design changes, modifying and parameterizing imported data, or modifying other people's models is really three of the main topics there. So we'll roll through those again kind of in more detail, right? So flexible modeling, you can work more effectively with multiple CAD data. So if you work with multiple CAD systems, flexible modeling can help you work with those. It efficiently handles late stage and unexpected changes that may come about at the last minute and change those for you. And then easily simplifies designs for downstream use. So again, some maybe major points around each one. Multiple CAD design easily works with and edits data from any CAD source. Creates parametric design intent for imported dumb geometry. 59% of organizations say modifying models from other 3D CAD systems is very difficult. So here's a solution for that. Late design stages, probably everybody has those come up all the time. This will give you the capabilities to directly edit and make changes to imported non-native geometry, eliminate wasted time rebuilding geometry to implement the change, makes fast and easy changes to parametric geometry regardless of the design intent, are some things here all in flexible modeling. And then empower non-expert CAD users to modify parametric models, make fast and easy changes to your parametric geometry regardless of your design intent. And all of these will be, and again, we're going to do a flexible modeling demo here, so we'll show you a little bit of those capabilities. The other thing I wanted to touch on before we kind of start moving towards the demo is really Essentials Plus is the next stage up. And when you move to Essentials Plus from maybe parametric or even from an Essentials license, the main thing that then is introduced is product data management. So here you now can have an entry-level system that will secure your CAD models, their structures, their relationships. It has powerful searching tools to quickly and easily search, copy, or rename designs, improving product information, discovery, and design reuse. It's a great way to manage all of Office documents, Word, Excel, track all of your changes through check-in and check-out and version control of those documents. So it's really helping get away from that, your file structure or however you're storing your documents today, and really give you an organized way to start storing that. And then from there, it's easily, you can convert up to a PDM link as your organization may get more advanced or want to build customized workflows or BOM management and things like this. So if this is something you've been thinking about, we would love to sit down and talk to you and show us how we can help you accomplish that goal. So here's just kind of what I was talking about on a slide. Again, securely manage your PTC Creo files, version control, understand the relationships between the items, where is it used, where are those particular parts used, easily search for your existing products and parts, very easy to deploy and configure by simply just upgrading some licenses. So with that, I wanted to go ahead and switch my screen over to Shei, and Shei's going to kind of walk us through a demonstration of flexible modeling. Shei?
All right. So can everyone see my screen okay?
It looks good, Shei.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there we go. So in this particular case, I think so Steve just walked through, some of the, time-limited offers, and basically the ability to upgrade your Creo extensions and functionality from what you currently have to potentially, more desirable or better extensions and options. And it's, we don't have enough time in the webinar to go through all of the additional extensions and options that you have available with the upgrade. And so we just had to, pick one, and we said, okay, if we're going to pick any one of these, we want to pick flexible modeling as the one to talk about. And so I'll basically go ahead and get started right here. And so first off, flexible modeling, if you don't know, it's a very simple and easy to use way of modifying the geometry regardless of the source, and getting to your design intent at the end. And so I know some of you probably work in places where you get external data from your suppliers or your vendors or your customers. And sometimes that requires you having to modify that data or make a slight change to it, right? And right now that probably involves you, sending your model back to your customer to say, hey, change this radius or change this, hole diameter to a certain size, right? Well, just like you see right here in flexible modeling, if it first off, it opens right inside of Creo, so it has the same user interface as Creo. All you have is a tab at the top here. And when you look at my model tree, you'll notice that this part I have right here right now is a dumb solid. I just imported it in. I think it was a step file before this. But we can still go ahead and make changes with flexible modeling. So say, for example, this hole right here. I want to, change that whole dimension. Well, instead of sending this back to my customer, it's very easy for me to just go here and say, let's modify that analytic surface. And I can very quickly and easily drag and move that hole to modify the radius. And now again, the beautiful thing about Flux modeling as well is that it feels just like a parametric model. So in the case where you put in a parametric dimension, it stays in your model tree. And so like this right here, I can go ahead and just like I would with any other parametric feature, I can say, let's edit that. And instead of 6.1 for the radius, let's make that 16. And again, so that feature stays in my model tree. I can, change it and modify it after the fact. And, I can put in whatever change I want very quickly and easily, into the model. A few more examples here would be, for example, if I wanted to, modify these radii, that my customer placed in here. Say, for example, they're too deep, and I want to, make them slightly more shallow. Um, uh, it's very simple again to just edit the round and say, okay, I can either dynamically drag that round, or I can type in a hard value as well. And not only can I modify one particular piece of geometry, but with Flex modeling, it's very simple and robust enough to modify multiple pieces of geometry all at the same time. And next up in here is this right here. So in this particular case, this post is currently the same height as the other one. And now, say for whatever design reason, I as a design engineer want to make this asymmetrical. So I want to push up the left post compared to the right one. Well, it's just as simple as telling Flex modeling, okay, I want to move that surface and I'm going to push it up that far. And the beautiful thing you'll notice is this is not my model. This is not a parametric model. This isn't something I created in Creo. But here I am being able to, extend surfaces, modify holes, and do all of this very, very easily and quickly with the ease of a direct modeling editor. But yet, I can still maintain my geometry and feature history. So again, this goes to show how easy Flex modeling is to use, and how you can save time by clicking one or two buttons and getting to your desired model pretty quickly. Now, some of you just saw what I did there, and you said, okay, well that's fine, but you just dragged that post freely. You did what if I wanted to move it with a hard dimension, right? Well, that's where this comes in. I can tell you, okay, let's move this by dimension, right? And I'll say, okay, well, it's going to be from that top surface there, and you can specify where you want your references to start from. And all of a sudden now I have this value that I can say, okay, currently that is, a certain value. Let's bump that up and make that distance between those two faces always 265. Creo is done, and here we go. It regenerates everything successfully with that distance, maintain that 265 with a hard dimension. Another feature about Flex modeling is how easy it is to use and how robust it is in terms of understanding what you're trying to do. And so this is a perfect example here where you'll notice this rib has a fairly complex round at the bottom of it, right? Well, if I want to push that rib up by, say a couple inches, so I'm going to pick the faces of that rib, not the round, just the faces of the rib, and say, okay, I want to move this up, by a certain distance. And when I do that, one of the things you'll notice immediately is, let's go back here, is Creo also understands, if you're moving the rib, I'm going to move the round with it as well, because a round without additional geometry makes no sense. It's useless. And so this round is connected to that rib. I'm going to move everything together, even though I didn't select that. And so again, this just goes to show you how robust it is to use and how easy it is to use, to where it's not that easy to stump flexible modeling or have it create something that's impossible. It usually will regenerate very quickly and easily and get you, where you need to go. Likewise, I can go ahead and modify the design intent and say, what if we wanted to pull that hole down to that location? Um, and you'll notice right now what I'm doing, it looks nothing like the starting model that my customer gave me. Um, but again, with flexible modeling, I can make as many different kinds of changes as I want. Now, another feature about flex modeling, and this I really do like. A lot of you that say for example, instead of modifying your customers' models or whatever, say for example you're a manufacturing house, and so you do any kind of molding or casting where you typically don't like verticals or negative drafted surfaces. You usually want to have a positive draft with your split plane, correct? Um, well, you and I both know it's next to impossible to draft a surface that already has a round attached to it. So in this particular case, if I wanted to draft this surface and increase that angle so that way it's more manufacturable, it already has a round at the bottom here. Well, if you think that's next to impossible, here comes flexible modeling to the rescue. I can just tell it, let's rotate that by a couple degrees around that edge. Say let's make that draft angle 7 degrees, and boom, there you go. I just drafted a surface that typically most CAD packages parametrically would not be able to draft easily, and I did that in 3 clicks. So again, that shows you how easy it is to use and how you can save a lot of time, because now I don't have to go ahead and remove the round and then draft it and then recreate a round. In 3 clicks, I get to my final solution. Um, Another example here is this complex round we have all the way around the model, and again, with flex modeling, it has very robust geometry selection tools that allows you to very quickly select what you're interested in, and go ahead and perform your actions. So I didn't have to pick each and every one of those surface patches. I can just use those robust selection tools, pick everything I want, and then let's say we want to get rid of those rounds. Next up in here is, for example, this particular boss right here. So if I want to get rid of that boss, say we don't need that ribbon there, it's as simple as selecting the boss and just saying let's remove that. And now some of you are looking here thinking, what kind of magic is he doing? Does he have some special sort of license on his computer? No, this is exactly what you would get with the Creo Essentials upgrade, to where you can modify your customers' models very quickly without even having to toss it back the fence and having them do it. Um, Another case that I usually like to show is say for example in my case I do a lot of simulation, and so whenever customers send me models, it usually contains much more detail than I care about. Sometimes what they want to simulate and the detail is just way different, and so I then have to go about and defeature the model and remove different extraneous details. Well, there are 2 ways to do that. I can either, take a screenshot and, mark up the screenshot and say, take away this hole and this radius and move this over and, send it back to them, and maybe 2 days later, hopefully they get it back to me and then I can start working. Or I can go straight into flex modeling and say, I want to get rid of that hole right there because I really don't need it for my simulation, and boom, there we go, it's gone. And so again, with 2 or 3 clicks, we've very quickly and very easily, modified this geometry to fit, our particular design intent. Um, and not only that, but the other beautiful thing about flex modeling as well is that all of those changes I just made remain in my model tree as features. So if I want to, suppress them or activate them, I can do that. If I'm done with this and I realize, I just wanted to make temporary changes to do what I wanted to do, and now I want to revert back to the customer model, it's as simple as selecting all of those different things and hitting delete, and there we go, we're back to the customer model. And so you can, create your design intent very quickly, very easily, without having to permanently change the customer model. You can still always get back to that. Another example is going to be this right here. So in this particular case, let's see, we'll move to this pocket right here. Now, a lot of you saw that first example, and you thought, well, that's a dumb solid. In this case, I work a lot with Creo models, right? Well, this is a Creo model right here, and so you're thinking, I don't need flex modeling for that. I have all the features I need, for this to control this model. I can change anything I want with those features, and so I have full control over this. Sure, that's fine. Again, the beauty with flex modeling is it allows you the ability to make late-stage design changes. And so, say this model is due to be released, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I'm running really late, and I need to get this thing out the door immediately. But we need to get rid of this pocket right here in the middle, right? Well, if I go ahead and pick on that and say I want to hit delete, you'll notice what Creo does. Creo says, as a parametric model, if you want to delete that pocket, you're going to have to get rid of at least 80% of your model tree along with it, because all of those other features are children of that one pocket you want to delete. And for me, I mean, I don't know that it's like that. I don't know who built this model. All I care about is I just want to get rid of that pocket so I can send this thing out to the shop floor, right? I don't care that all these other features are affected. I just want it to look like the way I want it to look, right? Well, again, with flex modeling, it's as simple as in this case, it's as simple as picking, the pocket you want and saying, yeah, let's remove that. And you'll notice what flex modeling is going to do here. Flex modeling doesn't care about parent-child relationships. It doesn't care about which features reference which one or which one came first in the model tree. It says, you want to get rid of that pocket, I'll get rid of it for you. And you'll notice I did that in 3 or 4 clicks, and here we go. Another example where that could come in handy is, say for example, you're not running late, but you typically reuse designs, right? So, we started from that first design and we wanted to end up here. Well, instead of, your design engineer spending all that time, changing the model and modifying it back and forth, flexible modeling can get them to the right solution very, very quickly. So yeah, that covers everything I was going to show for flex modeling and what it is, what it does. If you have any questions or comments about what you can do in flexible modeling or any of the other things in the time limited offer, you can put those in the GoToMeeting panel on your right hand side in the questions box, and either I or Steve will be happy to answer that. And at this point, Steve, I'll pass it on to you, and
thank you, Shay. Yeah. Did you bring presenter back to me, or how do I?
Yes, you are presenter now, Steve. You can
okay, good. So if everybody can see this, just a quick recap of the slide.
Steve, you still have to show your screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So just a quick recap about the TLO. It expires September 24th.
Steve,
so that's about.
Your screen isn't showing still. Do you wanna?
No, it says on air showing screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, well, go ahead.
The TLO expires September 24th, so we have about 4 weeks left within that special. So if you want, if there's something in specific, or if you just wanted to review what licenses you have, or talk more in depth around maybe flexible modeling, PDM, simulation, whatever it might be, please let us know. We'd be more than happy to set up a time to sit down and talk, or just simply upgrading a parametric to Essentials seat, maybe looking for some overall annual maintenance savings. We can kind of go through that exercise with you and see if there's any ways that we might be able to help. So please do that. I will move to the next slide here. Hopefully everybody can see. Here's just some contact information for myself, Boundary Systems. There's our phone number, our web page, my direct cell phone number, as well as my email address. So if there's any way Boundary Systems can help you out, please reach out to us, and we'd love to set up a time to talk. With that, I think there is a online kind of question box. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but if you do, feel free to type in any questions on that particular bar. If not, reach out and we can answer any questions you might have at that time. So I don't see any questions on here. So if you have any, simply reach out to us. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap this webinar up. I guess I could unmute your line too if you raised your hand, if you wanted to ask a question specifically to the team. Okay. All right. Well, there's no questions. Thank you for taking your time to attend the TLO Boundary Systems webinar today. Hopefully you found some information informative, learned something, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.